Looking for that one hot shooter. Hey everyone, it's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. I'm going to go ahead and run an oldie but a goodie. This is the Iron Cross, but this is a better version of the Iron Cross that Jeremy from ColorUp posted some time back. And I'm looking for just one hot shooter that I can take advantage of this strategy. So basically, we're not going to put any money on the 5, which is the first thing that's different. The normal Iron Cross would put place bets on the 5, 6, and 8, and then put another bet in the field. Now the ratio of the bet size that we're going to put on the 6 and 8 compared to what's going into the field is going to be a 3-to-1 ratio. Okay, so on this strategy, I'll start with a $60 place bet on the 6 and 8, and then 1/3 of that would be $20. I would put that in the field. So let me show you how this is going to look. Let me just do some housekeeping here. I'll get the turbo mode set up, get my 6 and 8 locked in, and my bets aren't always on. We don't have to have those always on. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to first roll for a point. And again, I'm looking for that one hot shooter. So let's get a point established and then get set up. Okay, so there's the points of 5. The puck moves to the 5. So I'm going to start with $60 on the 6 and 8. And that means $20 is going to go in the field. Just like so. This is my initial setup here. Now the goal is, so I've got $140 in play. So the goal here is I want to get a quick hit. I'd like to get about between $70 and $100 of winnings. And Jeremy says you should be able to do that in 2 hits, maybe 3. And when you do that, after you get to that point, you want to regress down and make these place bets. Let's go ahead and make those $30. In other words, break them down in half. And 1/3 of 30 is 10. So we would put 10 in the field. And then if that works out well, then we'll go ahead and put a $25 bet on the 5. And then we'll have the traditional Iron Cross set up. Hey guys, if you haven't, go ahead and subscribe and leave me a comment. Let's get back to the video. Let's go ahead and roll and see what we can do here. Okay, there's a 3. So that $20 field bet on the 3 wins us $20. So we've got a ways to go to get to that $70 to $100 goal. And there's another 3. So we're at $40 now. And there's a 9. So far we've hit field bets. We'd like to hit a 6 or an 8. And there's another 9. But here we are, we're at $80. We didn't have to use any of the 60. So do we want to go ahead and regress down now? If we do, we should go ahead and take these down to $30. And let's regress the field down to 10. Okay? Because now if we would hit that 7, we would lose $70. We've got more than $70 in winnings. And that's why we want to at least get to the $70 mark before we regress down. So now that we're above the $70 mark, we can go ahead and regress down and we can roll this out. Hot shooter is what we're looking for. Okay, there's an 8. There's an 8. So let's take a look at that real quick here. That $30 wins us $35. What is going on over here? Something doesn't look right. But that's okay. We'll just play this out and continue on. So we really just want to go ahead and continue. So when we do hit the 6 and the 8, we will lose our field bet. So we have to replace it. Okay. So let's continue. This is what we want to do if we feel like we have a hot shooter at the table that's going to roll more than the traditional 7 rolls before the 7 out. So if you look, we have rolled 7 times. That last roll was a 3, and that wins us $10. So We're at that point now where we might be looking at a 7, unless this truly is a hot shooter. We'll continue on. Well, I guess not. There's the 7. Okay, so I'm going to move this over just a bit. There we go. Now I can see these numbers better. So that's the objective. That's the goal. And we'll go ahead and play this out for another shooter or two and see how it works out. So the puck is off. Let's go ahead and get another point. And there's a 7 on the come out. Another 7. Let's get those out of the way. Okay, there's an 8. The puck moves to the 8. So I could go to a $90 place bets on the 6 and 8 and 30 in the field. You want to try that? Like so. Go up a little higher. So at this point we have $210. So we'd like to get over $200 before we regress down. Actually, when we regress down, we're going to regress down to the 140. We're going to regress to 60, 60, and 20. That's $140. So let's make sure we have 120 net profit before we regress down to the $60 level. Let's go ahead and roll. Okay, there's an 8. That puts us at 120, and our puck is off. Let's go ahead and just roll for a point. Okay, the point's a 9. Let's go ahead and put $30 back in the field. Let's roll. Okay, there's an 11. That's 30. Now we have 150. We should be able to regress these down to the $60.20 level. Okay, there we go. Because now we have 140 in bets. If we would happen to hit our 7, we'd still have a profit. So let's go ahead and roll. Again, we're looking for that hot shooter. Okay, there's a 10. That wins us 20. And there's a 5. Why am I getting that? That's interesting. So the 5 is not in the field, and we never put any money on the 5. So that is one vulnerable point, the 7 and the 5. So we lose $20 there. Let's replace our field bet to 20. And let's continue on. Another 5. Whoops, I forgot to replace my bet. Well, that's good, because there's the third 5. There's a 10, so we get 20 of it back. Looking for a 6 or an 8. There's an 8. There's an 8. Let's take a look at that. At 60 pays 70. $60 on the 8 pays 70 minus the 20 in the field gives us a net $50 on that roller, on that roll of the dice, and we have to replace our field bet. Let's go another 20. There's a 3. That's a field win. $20 in the field. There's a 9. Another $20. And that's our point. Let's go ahead and roll. Let's take this down. Let's roll for a point. Okay, the point's a 9. Let's put our 20 back. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to regress back down to the 30 level. Just to lock in some profits. 3-to-1 ratio. So 30 on the 6 and 8 would put 10 in the field. And there's a 7 out. Well, it's a good thing I went ahead and regressed down. That lost $70. Let's go ahead and set back up. Let's get, what shooter are we on? We're on shooter 3. Let's go ahead and get a point. Okay, there's a 6. So I think I'll start at, I think I'll go back to the 90 level. And 30 in the field. Let's get a couple rolls here. So we'll regress down to the 60, which is the 140 level. We've already got 140 in here, so let's just get a couple hits and then regress down. Well, there's a 3. That's a field hit. That's $30. We want a 6 or an 8. There's the 5. We don't have a 5, so we lose our field bet. Let's replace it. And I'm not sure why we wouldn't just go ahead and put something on the 5, but Jeremy said he didn't in this strategy. So we'll play it out the way he says. Okay, there's a 9. That's a $30 winner. That offset our loss on the 5. There's the 8. Okay, so that gives us a $75 hit. Let's regress down to 60 and 20. And we'll still leave the 5 open. Let's go ahead and roll a few times here. Okay, there's an 8. Let's take a peek at that. That's a 9. I'm sorry. That's a $20 win in the field. I was getting a little excited there. I thought I hit the place number. And there's a 7 out. So that lost us 140. So let's go ahead and get a point established. And we'll go with one more shooter here. There's a 6. So the point is a 6. I'm going to go ahead and start at the $90 level, which would put 30 in the field. There's our field hit on the 4. There's a field bet on the 10. Would like to get a 6 or an 8 here. And there's another 4. So there's $90. Let's go ahead and regress this down to 60. Okay. If you have a higher risk of tolerance or higher risk level, higher tolerance for risk, I should say, if your level of risk is higher, you may not want to regress down as quickly. But I kind of like to lock in some of these profits. So there's a 6. That's one hit on our 6 and 8, and that's the point. Putt goes off. We did lose the field bet. Let's go ahead and get a point established. And we're right back on that 6. Let's go ahead and get our $20 in the field. And a 7 out. So we're at 39 rolls. 4 shooters. Our last shooter didn't do anything for us. Our first 2 shooters were good. Shooter 3 lost us $15. Again, this is a good strategy if you found that hot shooter. If you found someone who really seems to be on a roll, even if it's you and you have to throw a pass line bet out, that's fine also. This would be a good strategy. Again, if you have a shooter that's rolling well, even though our roll distribution showed 7 sevens came out. So in this regards, that's a normal distribution. The 9 came out a much higher than expected, but we did roll a lot of 7s, and we still came out of this session with a $155 win. So again, this is the Iron Cross, but according to Jeremy at ColorUp, this is a little better version. And I'd like you to leave me some comments. If you've tried this, how were your results? Did you come out well? Obviously, we could have rolled more 7 outs, but we rolled quite a few 7 outs. Most of those 7s came while the puck was off, if I remember right. If we go back here to the rolls, if you go back and look, here's a 7 that did not lose anything. I thought we had a few more 7s down here. Right here we rolled 2 7s, but had the puck was not on yet, so we did not lose anything. So in that regards, that turned out well. So 3 of those 7 did not hurt us, and maybe that's why we came out with a positive $155. So anyway, that's our video for today. Hope everyone's doing well, and as always, thanks for watching.